Hello gang, we're going to do a couple of kiss paintings, we hope. I'm not sure if this white is maybe too thin to do what I'm hoping to do, but I'm basically going to start with a white background, pour it all over this and the sides. I'm just going to trowel it in. I'm afraid that's too thin for getting a lot of mileage for this. Yep, that is too thin. I'm going to go with it and just see what happens. I wanted a thicker base coat. The canvas is going to absorb quite a bit of the liquid water, Floetrol, roughly a third mixture of Floetrol, paint, and water. And when I say paint, I don't mean the kind from the tubes, although some of these were from the tubes, but I'm talking about the consistency you would buy just a regular acrylic paint in a bottle from companies such as FloArt, any of the other acrylic pour mediums. So we did make several of these colors from paint from a tube. Yeah, this is for what I'm hoping for. This is probably going to be too thin, but we're going to find out now. So I get my trusty paper towels, put several up because this is going to be nice and messy, but hopefully we'll have something of an impression with a white background is what I'm hoping to get. That's not necessarily what we will get. So I'm just going to kind of swizzle very thin. That's too thick. Okay, we'll go with the drops. It's about right, I think. A little bit of yellow. Okay, this is still a little thick. We've been having a little problems with our thickness, trying to get it to drop either one drop every 1 or 2 drops per second from the stick is what I was trying for to get these at the right consistency. That'll do for now. We can always add more later. A little bit of turquoise. Okay, that's about the right consistency, I think. And just a tiny touch of black here and there, a few drops. Maybe a few drops in the center of some of these other colors. Create a little bit of a layering effect on some of these, but not all of them necessarily. And then we got some bright red. I don't want to overdo it with color, but I'll just see what happens. We'll drop again, layered effect. We can always add more later on the second kiss. And then finally I think is going to be a little bit of this beautiful copper, metallic copper. And then maybe a little bit of a line of that, or a swirl. It's a little too thick to do what I was hoping to do. There we go. Okay, so then we'll take a blank canvas and we're just going to flip it over and see what happens. I would like to get rid of that drop, but we can do it later, I think. So we'll line it up, press through the canvas here, let it soak in, take its time. I'll let the white paint, as much of the white paint, as much of everything, soak into that. And then we're just going to pull it up. Probably, I could drag it. I could drag it that way. I could swirl it. I could pull it straight up. So, question is, I could do a circle. I think I'm going to try for that effect a little bit. And just pull it up and see what happened. And there we go. We got pretty much twins here. A lot of cell formation going on. This was the top one. This one, I'm assuming, has some thicker paint on it, but the general effect is kind of what I was hoping for. Didn't really, you never know what's going to happen. That's what makes pouring pour paint fun. But it's kind of like a tree effect or a shrub effect is what I was hoping for, and that's pretty much what turned out. I need to take care of that little mark there and probably on its mirror image, so I'll just take a little bit of white and cover that, because we're going to do another one possibly on the original, because I'm thinking it has more paint than the first one. And then to make these different, we could have sort of a either hang them like this as a pair on the wall and just leave them like that, or I could change one of them, which would probably be equally as interesting. We're starting to get cells pop pretty well. I could have added a little more silicone. I like this one actually better than the original so far. The pressed one is 3D. So let's just see what's going on here. I'm actually doing a little bit of pouring. I wanted to do a little bit of that probably this way and just see what happens with the flow. So that one made that one different, and I want to make this one, because that one will those cells will come out again, I believe. This one I think I'm just going to leave like that. It's good enough. And I think I'm going to, there's not enough paint on here, quite enough to do a third one, or I would do a third press and really change it around. So what do you think? Should I do anything else with it? We can let them dry. I can torch them a little bit. Let me get my hands clean. I think that's what we'll do, is torch them and see what happens with the cells, especially on this one. Get some cells going there. Should be some over here ready to happen. Yeah, there they go. I want to keep the flame, right now it's about 4 inches away, and I'm just occasionally dipping in if I see something I want to hopefully draw some cells out of, an area of interest. And that's about all I'm going to do for now. I'll go over to this one and just see what happens. Okay, that's about it. So I'm going to do just a little bit of touch up with white, but the cells are still developing. It's still flowing. In fact, I don't want to do overly much now. I'm just going to let the cells develop a little more, and they are still developing. And we'll do another short video in 5 minutes or so. This one, you can see is different. The cells are still forming a little bit. It's thick enough now at this point that it's not, I could make it flow, but I don't want to. I'm just going to go with that. And again, I'm going to just touch up that, but I'll do that off camera, and we'll come back and just check them out. So that's my KISS experiment. Thank you for listening. Hope you tune in again if you got something out of this. And we'll check it real quick in about 5 minutes to see if there's any further cell development. Thank you, and have a good evening.